the maturity that we have as a political organization, the focus we can maintain. That's why some of that conversation is below our party. Don't engage in those kinds of conversations, exchanging with each other. Huyo alinitukana hapa, alikuwa kwa TV akasema mimi hapana. Hiyo ni mambo ya new parties and those others who are running life. We are a mature party. We focus on the policies and the issues of the day. Because right now, I can tell you, for example, as a former Minister for Education, I am fairly frustrated by what is going on in the education sector in the country. Because if you look at the government's policies in the education sector, I am saying this without fear of contradiction, and you can challenge me. By January next year, we will have, it may actually be harrowing, but I suspect we could very easily have up to about 30% dropout from schools because of these policies. Asking schools, including sub-county schools, to pay 33,000 school fees. Reducing capitation by almost 10,000 shillings. And then requiring parents to pay X amount of money. You and I know that close to 40 or 45% of our parents who have children in day schools cannot afford suddenly to add 9,000 shillings on the fee. Then you see they could be having other children in sub-county schools and so on and so forth. You are saying that in the context of where earnings from agriculture and so on have declined. There is SHA which does not work. There is no aid welfare in schools now. If your child becomes sick, you have to think about that. I mean, the pain that our people are going through is unbearable. Government, because of public policy failure and chaos, has actually led us to a point where we have a reversal of a public policy framework that has existed for 2 decades, 20 years, since President Kibaki introduced free primary education. All that and all the gains we have made in that sector are being reversed by what you can see clearly is recklessness, incompetence, and failure on the part of our fellow citizens who are running government. And then this is where you believe we should make a difference. When we discuss these things, this is not about politics. This is about the lives of our children and our people. We should be dispassionate about it, respectful, put issues forward, and ask those of our colleagues who are in government to be human enough to think about our people. What is going to happen to our children? What is going to happen? We are going to have dropout. It could very easily go to probably up to 30% or beyond when we open schools because of this kind of recklessness that we are seeing. That's why we want to go back to office, because we know how to do it. That's why we are telling Kenyans, we will fix it, because we fixed it before. And we know how to do it. So, unajua kama kuna shida, tunaambiana tu kwa upole, wewe ni ndugu yetu, lakini umelemewa. Hii sasa huwezi kufanya. Sasa, lakini bahati nzuri sisi wa Kenya tumebarikiwa, tuko na watu wa kuifanya. Sasa wacha tufanye hii. That's all we are saying. Sio mambo mingi kama namna gani. That's all we are saying. Hakuna vitina hapo. Vitina inatokea wapi? Hakuna vitina. Because it's self-evident. You can see. And then, by the way, I could talk about this until the cows come home. When a government fails in the social sector, the social sectors are education and health. When a government fails spectacularly like this one has failed, honestly speaking, your claim to management of the country is hollow. I mean, what are you saying? And then every day you keep saying, oh, it's working. It's only you who knows it's working. the people who are the recipients of the services know they're not working. So mkienda kwa counties na kule kwingine, hivyo ndivyo nataka tueleze watu wetu. Pole kwa upole, and they are the ones who feel this. You know, it's shameful. We are debating about junior secondary school teachers. 20,000 of them, instead of confirming them. And now I'll go to the second part of taking another group of intern teachers. Sasa, ni kusema we don't have money to pay them, so we cannot confirm them. But we have money to hire 50 school buses to take people to the president's meeting. And then from there, we tell people to queue. We give them money, 1,000 shillings each. You know, haya ni mambo ambayo unaona wewe mwenyewe as President Kibaki with us. Wewe mwenyewe unaona na unataka waambiwe. You can see what is happening. I've been pointing out to people in by-elections. In Nyamira, where I come from, there are by-elections. You know, some of these things, my brothers and sisters, are just a matter of common sense. It's not even politics, it's just common sense. The salary of an MCA, let us round it off to about 150,000 a month. If you are going to, because after this by-election, that MCA also elected will serve for about 22 months. Because it's 1 year and about 10 months. That comes to a salary of 3.3 million shillings in total. That's what they will make. Now, award, the way we know it, is a group of villages. In other circumstances, you can walk around a ward in 1 day. That's walking around 1 day. You can walk in some of these densely populated parts of our country like Kisii and Kiambu here, you can walk around the county in a day. Then you take the village jobbers. To hire one chopper from Wilson here to that place is 1.1 million the whole day. 3 of them is 3.3 million. So honestly, if your brain is functioning, why don't you actually call that candidate and give him that 3.3 million and tell him, have fun. Or tell him, yes, the 3.3 million, you serve these people for free until election time. Sasa ukipiga hiyo hesabu uongeze hizo pesa plus the ones that are being used to bribe people plus everything in a ward. I was working down with some leaders looking at some ballpark figures on things that we are hearing and seeing. Some of those that you see, the bribery going on. And you discover if you spend about 200 million in a small place like that, about 2 or 3 wards, if you give me that 200 million, I'll ask you for 20 secondary schools. And I will put 10 million shillings each in each of those secondary schools. Absolutely. I will expand them spectacularly. And then lift the burden of the parents who are going to the schools. Lakini sasa, mwenda mpewe pesa. Every week, mchukue 3-4 million shillings unapewa na ni pesa ya security na ile ingine. Munaenda ingine, unagawanya hapo katikati. Then you end up in the village to ask people to queue so that they get 200, they get 100, and so on and so forth. It's actually shocking. Please listen to me and tell this to our people when you go to the counties. There is more empowerment that you can ever give a population than access to education. Access to education is the strongest and most powerful empowerment you can do to a population. Sasa mzee, when they prepare watu shilingi 200 na maharagwe, their children are not going to school, they will not afford going to school in January. What are we actually doing? And you know, all these things we are experiencing are as a result of the chaotic public policy infrastructure of government. Not to compare higher. That's why I want to talk about it gently, nicely, in a matter-of-fact manner, because it's common sense. It does not require you to have a PhD from Harvard. It's a straightforward matter. So let us focus on this. This is what I'm asking you, my brothers and sisters, to do. Tuko kwa shida kwa nchi hii. Na shida wananchi wanaiona kila siku. Na nyinyi kama viongozi mnaijua. Na sasa bahati yetu sisi kama Jubilee, we have been there. We have done it. So let's have the opportunity to fix it again. Hiyo tu ndio tunaweza kufanya.